Hey guys, in this lesson we are going to be dividing polynomials. So I'm going to start with this polynomial. Again, if we're ever doing this and I go too fast, just pause it and catch up with your notes. But here's our first example of dividing. Okay, the way you divide polynomials by a monomial is you're going to divide each little section. So here's what I mean by that. I'm going to start by dividing these two. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. I'm going to put ones on all my letters that don't have exponents. If you remember with your laws of exponents, when you're dividing, you really subtract. So 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that's my first one dividing. I'm going to switch to red to do my middle one. We're going to bring this plus down. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Subtract your x's and you get x squared. Subtract your y's and you get y to the first. Here I'm going to do this last one in green. I'm going to bring this minus down. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Subtract your x's and you get x to the first. Subtract your y's and you get nothing. Your y's cancel. So if that happens, if you subtract exponents and get nothing, don't write anything, okay? So this is just my final answer. 2x cubed y squared plus 4x squared y minus 6x. Okay? I'm going to give y'all one to try. And then I'll go through it after you've tried it. And just make sure we really understand what's going on. So, pause it right now. I want you to go through, try it on your own, and when you unpause it, I will give you the answers. Okay, hopefully you did it. This first division, 20 divided by 4, you should have gotten 5. Well, that was a typo. This should be a C. I don't know why I wrote an X. My bad. So 4 minus, that's a 1. You should get C to the third. When you subtract your D's, you get D to the first. When you subtract your F's, you get nothing. So remember, you just don't write an F at all. The middle part, 16 divided by 4 is 4. Subtract your C's, you get nothing. Subtract your D's, you get nothing. Subtract your F's, and you get F to the first. And this last part, 4 divided by 4 is 1. Subtract your C's, you get nothing. Subtract your D's, you get nothing. Subtract your F's, you get nothing. So here's your final answer. 5c to the third, d to the first, minus 4f1 plus 1. I'm going to give you one more because I messed up writing that problem. I promise I'll write this one right. So that one is written correctly, I promise. So pause it, try this one, and then we'll go over it. So hopefully you did it. 18 divided by 3 right here should give you 6. Subtract your x's, you get x. Subtract your y's, you get nothing. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Subtract your x's, you get x squared. Subtract your y's, you get y. There is no z on bottom, so you should just tack that z on at the end. Okay. All right, now we're going to do dividing a trinomial by a binomial. Here's what I mean. You will have a problem written like this. X squared plus 3x minus 40. That's a minus. We want that divided by x minus 5. So you got to go way back to middle school days when you set up long division like this with the smaller number on the outside and the bigger number on the inside. That's what we're doing. So the goal is to make everything on the inside cancel out. So I want to figure out what I can multiply this by on the outside so that I can get x squared and make it cancel. So what can I do multiply x by to get x squared? An x. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to distribute. X times x gives me an x squared. X times negative 5 gives me a negative 5x. And I am subtracting. So x squared minus x squared, those cancel, which is what I wanted. Now look at my x's. I have a 3x minus a negative 5x. 3 minus negative 5 gives me 8x. 3 minus negative 5 is 8. And then this negative 40 comes down. So I want to figure out what can I multiply this same thing by, this parentheses, to give me an 8x. So what can I multiply x by to get an 8x? And that answer is a positive 8. So I'm going to do this one in yellow. I'm going to distribute. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. I'm going to subtract them. 8 minus 8 is nothing. Those cancel. Negative 40 minus negative 40 is 0. So your answer, x squared plus 3x minus 40 divided by x minus 5 is x plus 8. Ooh, I know that might be blowing some of your minds. Let's do another one. Let's do x minus 3. We're going to divide that into x squared plus 7x minus 30. So again, I want to be able to subtract here and cancel, so I want this to be an x squared. The way I'm going to get that is to multiply by x, right? Because x times x is x squared, and x times negative 3 is negative 3x. So x squared minus x squared cancels. 7 minus negative 3 gives you a 10x. I'm going to bring this down. We want to see what can I multiply this by to get 10, and that answer is 10, a positive 10. So distribute. 10 times x is 10x. 10 times 3 is 30. I'm going to subtract them. 10 minus 10 is nothing. Negative 30 minus negative 30 is nothing. So your answer is x plus 10, right there at the top. All right, I'm going to give you guys one to try on your own. So after you copy it down, pause it and work it out, and when you unpause it, I'll give you answers. Okay, hopefully you have worked it out. You're going to multiply by an x and get x squared, multiply by an x and get negative 1x. You're subtracting. These cancel. Negative 13 minus negative 1 gives you negative 12x. I'm going to bring this down. I want to multiply by a negative 12. So distribute and I get a negative 12x. Distribute and I get a positive 12. I'm subtracting. Negative 12 minus negative 12 cancels. 12 minus 12 is 0. So you should have gotten x minus 12. Sometimes you will not get it nice and pretty where your end answer, your remainder was 0. So let me do a problem like that, where we're actually going to get a remainder. Let's do find out where we have a remainder. Let's do this. Let's do a plus 2 into a squared minus 8a minus 26. Okay, so multiply by a. It works the exact same until you get to the very end. So I'm going to go through this kind of fast. A times a is a squared. A times 2 is 2a. I'm subtracting. A squared minus a squared is nothing. Negative 8 minus 2 gives me negative 10a. I'm going to bring down your minus 26. I'm going to multiply by a negative 10. So that gives me negative 10a and negative 20. I'm subtracting. Negative 10 minus negative 10 is nothing. Negative 26 minus negative 20 ends up just being a negative 6. So watch how I write my answer. My answer was a minus 10. So then then I had a remainder of negative 6. And if you remember, you write your remainders over what you divided by. So I divided by a plus 2. So that's how you would write the answer. Let's do another one where I'm going to get a remainder. We're going to do b plus 1. We're going to divide that into negative 4b squared plus b minus 2. Alright, so I'm going to start by multiplying by negative 4b. So that gives me negative 4b squared, and that gives me negative 4b. So, and I'm subtracting them. Negative 4 minus negative 4 cancels. There's really a 1 right there. So 1 minus negative 4 gives me a positive 5b. I'm going to bring down minus 2. Here I want to multiply by 5, a positive 5. So that gives me a 5b plus 5. I'm subtracting. 5b minus 5b is nothing. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. So to write my answer, I would write negative 4b plus 5. And then my answer, I got a negative 7, and you write it on top of the remainder. Okay? That should be good to get you through the worksheet. I don't think any others are too difficult. So good luck.